No more pay-per-views now, Bell, you.
Hello all you hardcore boxing fans out there, how are you doing? It's Big Porky here, boom boom. And still, the voice of hardcore boxing. Well, it must be, because it says so on that poster there, doesn't it? Now, hello Piggy. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to do the helmets of the month. Helmets of the month, as voted for by you, the hardcore boxing fans. While I've got my feet upon the desk, my slippers, my size 8 slippers. So if anybody wants to send me some slippers in, I'm ready for a new pair. But don't buy them Ugg ones, they're terrible, they don't last long. Just get some £10 Dunlop ones like me. But first of all, before I do this, I just want to read the phone number out for the people who keep emailing me and asking me about Dennis Hobson's show. Now, it's a Commonwealth title headliner at Ponsford, and I'll be there ringside. In fact, you'll see me as soon as you walk into Ponsford. I'll be sat behind a table to greet everybody and say hello, because that's what I do. I've got a touch of class, haven't I? Right. Let's have a look. Dennis' office. Right. Dennis Hobson's office. If you want tickets for Dennis Hobson's show at Ponsford next Friday, the 15th of March, it's 01142. That's the Sheffield code. 01142. And then it's 43 44 43. So it's 01142 43 44 43. And if you get a ticket, I'll see you there. You're more than welcome. Bring your pea shooters, and we'll make a night of it. And if I think that you're all right, I'll make arrangements for you to come to after party. If I think that you've had too much to drink, you won't be coming. I don't mean that detrimentally, but I don't want to be showing up for, oh, what did you bring them for? They got drunk and they said this or said that. You know, so I won't be partying myself, because I'm there to work. I'm there to do some filming, and I'm there to just generally behave. The days of me going and getting out of my face at boxing shows are gone. I like to be switched on, because it shows maturity, doesn't it? And it reflects bad on channel if I start, you know, staggering about or going on like that. So them days are gone for me with that, and I don't miss them either. But anyway, that's Dennis's show. It's headlined by Tommy Frank fighting Luke Wilton for the Commonwealth Super Flyweight title. I did an interview with Tommy on channel in Dennis's office the other day. Nice kid, he's in great shape, and he's trained as a personal friend of mine, and I want him to do well. I want Tommy to have some luck. Now, back to helmets video now. Helmets of the month, right. In 15th place, Freddie Cunningham. Freddie Cunningham is Joshua's advisor, business advisor, whatever he is. I'm not going to go into detail what somebody told me over day, Friday night actually, but the guy's a complete helmet, and he did have a couple of votes this week. He's getting a bit of stick because of his opinion on who Joshua should fight next and blah de blah, and we all keep seeming to be giving it Eddie Hearn, but Eddie Hearn's not entirely to blame. Yeah, they want to prolong it like they did Eubank Senior over years, but Eddie Hearn's not entirely to blame. So, but Eddie Hearn and Eddie Hearn's dad and Freddie Cunningham believe that Joshua against Wilder is like a mega trilogy that could do $500 million. They're talking over 3 fights, you know, worldwide. But that's money that they want of you people, the fans, because we've got Learjets to buy, haven't they? So Freddie Cunningham, you're 15. 14th is Neil the Lurch, you know, the big 6'10" guy who squirted water at somebody who had their son there or something in New York. Neil the Lurch, I call him. He can't fight for toffee, but he just born big and long, wasn't he? So he's the guy who fetches coffee for Joshua, and when Joshua's out at his bird's house or some birds, he picks him up and does all running about. But he looks the part, doesn't he? He's big, too big to fit in that door there, but he cannot fight for toffee. So even pea shooter man would knock him out. Right, number 13, Skins. I saw how he were behaving, and I actually got to find out of somebody who I know who knows somebody in that circle in New York, and they were telling me that, you know, he were working himself up. Why are you working yourself up? You look a dick with that ponytail for starters, and if you were half any good, you'd be a boxer, wouldn't you? But you're not. You're a tag along in Joshua's company. When Joshua wants to eat something, you have to. That's when you eat. If he ain't having something to eat, you're just one of them people that's just sitting about waiting to see what he's doing. That in the boxing industry is called a hanger-on. Now, too many boxers have hangers-on. I see it all the time. I see them hanging around boxers, famous boxers and that. You know, the background people. What they need to do, they need to get a life for themselves. If you're hungry, go and buy yourself something. You don't have to wait till Joshua's hungry. But then I forgot. You can't buy yourself something. You have to wait until he pays, don't you? See, that's it when you're a hanger-on. That's why it's always best to be your own man. So Skins, you're a helmet. 15, 14, 12. Spencer Oliver. Spencer Oliver. What can we say about Spencer Oliver? I don't know, they're doing podcasts now, aren't they? They're not happy with Sky Money and all these little gimmick fights that they keep putting white collars. They're having to do work what the fans do. Do you know what I mean? They want every penny for themselves. She agreed. He's even brought that nutcase in with him from EastEnders, hasn't he? Max Brannan, who's about as strong as a 6-year-old little kid. He got the art of a breadcrumb. But next up, you've got his big mate, haven't you? Big Femi, the big dosser. What can we say about Big Femi? I'd like to think he'd have got more votes than he did this week, but it proves that he's got too many fanboys around him, hasn't he? Big Femi, the big dosser, the man who won't fight anybody at all. He's fighting a man £330. What is all that about? A black butterbean with an afro. That's who he's fighting, isn't it? The black butterbean. Well, I'm right, aren't I? I'm right. Butterbean is the white Gerald Miller. It's shocking, and Joshua should be ashamed. I don't want to hear all that. The UK's where it's at, and it's about legacy, not about money. It's not about legacy. Or you fight Wilder and have all belts and call the shots. It's not about money, or you tell Wilder he can have his worth, because a WBC belt, in my opinion, is worth as much as an IBF, a WBO, and an IBO. It's the equivalent to the WBA, the WBC, because they've both been going roughly about the same time. They're the two main belts. Then you've got the IBO in third, WBO in fourth, and IBO in fifth. But it looks to me like the WBO is the only one with any credibility that stick to the rules, isn't it, really? Because they don't get involved in that minefield by doing mandatories and voluntaries and stuff like that, do they? Just go through a system, don't they? But next up, Jake Wood. Jake Wood, you're an actor on EastEnders. Why don't you just go back to EastEnders and stop tagging along to boxing crowd? You are to tag along. You can't fight for toffee. Why are you saying that certain fighters, that fighter you said the other day should have doubled his jab and moved on inside? Jake Wood, yeah, he should have doubled his jab and moved on inside and used his feet a bit more. God, Jake Wood's telling boxers now, professional boxers, how to box. You know, he's saying that James DeGale should have done this and should have done that. Do you know what I mean? Jake Wood is now a Sky expert or a podcast expert. Oh my God. You never hear me coming out with stuff like that, do you, about technical stuff and that. Even though I can hold pads and that, and I know how to work bag myself, and I do know a little bit, but I don't come on here and break down fights, do I? You never hear me do that. I'm not an expert in that, and I don't believe anybody is. I think they all learn. Everybody's learning all the time. It's about levels, isn't it? You know, best guy I've ever seen on pads is Robin Reid. I'm not saying that because I'm a mate of his, but he does pad seminars. He don't mean to say he's going to be world's best trainer, does it? Because one of the world's greatest trainers is Angelo Dundee, but he couldn't do pads, he never did them. So Ali believed in sharpness work. He believed that you should spar and do a job properly instead of pads. But geez. Right. Right. Next up, Spencer Fearon. Spencer Fearon, oh God. What can we say about Spencer Fearon, aka Malcolm X? Or is it Spencer X? The guy's a complete helmet. He should have been number one. He should be number one every month, but Spencer Fearon is a complete helmet. The guy, everybody he compares people to. I mean, this week on Twitter he were comparing Dillian White to Witherspoon, but he was comparing Richard Riaporte to Michael Spinks. Richard Riaporte's had 9 fights, and all of a sudden now he is Michael Spinks. Why is that? Because he's gangly. Why does Spencer Fearon feel that he has to compare fighters, and why are they always black fighters that he compares them to? Why is that? Why is he always coming out with stuff like that? The kid's had 9 fights. He doesn't need to be compared to anybody. He can't be compared to anybody, because when you think of Michael Spinks, you think of him who knocked out Jerry Cooney, and him who got knocked out against Mike Tyson, which is Mike Tyson's best win. I like heavyweight. Work that one out. Spencer Fearon, you are a helmet. Right, next up. Oh God, can't believe he's this low this time. Johnny, the company man of Sky Sports, Nelson. He's contradicted himself that many times this week, I can't even talk about him. The man is a walking contradiction. But he's also making my friend a lot of money, because every time he backs somebody, Johnny Nelson, my mate backs the other guy, and he's managed to just clear all his debts. And he's bought his son a nice Lancia Delta, you know, one of them nice ones, an Integra Rally. It's a left-hand drive one. But I had a go in it the other day, and it had my head back in the seat. But not for me, because they break down, don't they, Italian cars? I've had a couple of Alphas. You have to keep on top of them all the time, but they sound nice, don't they? But no, as far as I'm concerned, Johnny Nelson, you are a helmet. Next up, Umar, IFL Umar. I don't get all this that people keep repeating, and I don't tend to, the person who named that, I don't like to bring him up on the channel, because he's always digging people out that, I think he crosses that line, doesn't he, sometimes, about people's personal things. I don't know, I just think that I don't like to bring stuff up that he brings up. He has his own style, I have mine, but I do there is points that he comes out with that's good. And to be honest with you, his personality aside and the things he says and does, I'm wondering if at some stage, if somebody would have got hold of him and said to him, you can do this, you can do that, I wonder if he might have done a little bit better, because I thought he was doing well against Chris Eubank. I thought he was doing well, but I think he took the fight on short notice, didn't he? But I thought he did well against him, but he got beat, didn't he? And look what Eubank's gone on to achieve, so maybe that rankles with him, I don't know, but I just wish he wouldn't I wish he wouldn't call Carl Frotcher's missus a gold digger, because they're friends of mine, and Rachel's not a gold digger. She already had a good career before she met Carl, so nice car, she had a good career. I think she was Miss Maxim before she met Carl, so it wasn't like she was in poorhouse, was it? So I don't think Rachel's a gold digger at all. She's a nice person. She's had 3 kids to Carl, hasn't she? So sometimes people fall in love. It's not Rachel's fault that Carl's gone on to be successful, is it? Do you know what I mean? Now, when she met Carl, he lived in a bungalow in Nottingham. He don't live in that one now, but you know, he wasn't a millionaire when she met him, so he weren't a millionaire. Eddie Hearn, Helmet of the Month number 4. Eddie Hearn. Eddie, thanks for the email the other day, Eddie, but you've been voted again. Do you know why? Because all you do every day, every time you walk out of the house, Eddie, you're doing 20-30 interviews a day non-stop, and you're getting it out there, and you're doing a lot of work social media because you do interviews with all them who've got loads of followers. Now, why don't you go and do some interviews with people who haven't got followers and spread the love? I don't want you on my channel though, Eddie. You had your chance. If me putting you on 2 big billboards, Eddie, in town centres and outside football grounds ain't going to get you to come to the table to answer some proper questions, you're never going to do, are you? So, but why don't you go help some of them young lads out who go to these press conferences and share the love? We don't just want to see you sat in a car with Coogan for 4 hours and then Coogan sat in Frank Warren's office next day. We want to see proper questions. We want you to answer why you thought that were next gen other day, and why you said that he did 923 tickets. Why not 900? Why not 950? Why 923? Crazy. And why is Frank Smith saying he did 1200 before your interview? It don't work. It don't add up. But Coogan Cassius, Helmet of the Month for February, number 3, Coogie Bear. I don't know why you've been voted number 3, Coogie. I quite like you. You're likeable. You're a likeable, lovable lummox like Stig. Maybe going on Rob Tebbett's show. Maybe that would a bit cringe, wasn't it? Digging Frotch out. I don't know. I think a lot of people are digging Frotch out this week. When he said them comments about De Gale, right, I know because he told me. He didn't mean any malice in it. He got you all going though, didn't he? He's not like that, but people take it the wrong way, don't they? And I don't know, people just took it the wrong way. And the final 2, Stig, number 2. Hot Stig, you are helmet number 2 for February. The votes are in. I did send you them, Stig. Stig thought you were going to be number 1 because people had him put down in their list as number 1, but he's ended up number 2. But I think it's because he's going on about that Lanil thing all the time, Stig. Take it from me, this Lanil thing, it's like that pound for pound thing. It's a figment of people's imagination. They have a man who beats the man, don't they? So Tyson's creating that because he hasn't got a belt, so he's got to say it's best, hasn't it? It's like saying, I'm the best, because he hasn't got a belt, has he? Now if Andre Ward comes back at light heavyweight and he hasn't got a belt, he'd be regarded as the best, wouldn't he? But Andre Ward hasn't done a ban for failing drug tests, has he? For nandrolone and backdated bans and cocaine and all that kind of thing, has he? He's just had a break from the sport. If he comes back at light heavyweight, he'd be regarded as the man. He wouldn't need a belt. Tyson did beat the man, and yeah, I suppose he doesn't need a belt, but he's just been in a fight and drawn, hasn't he? So I think the jury's out on this Lanil. If he'd beat Wilder, he could pull this Lanil thing off. Now I don't want to hear people saying he beat him, because in record books it says he drew, doesn't it? You drew. Get over it. You got dropped twice, you drew. I had you winning it after watching it again with no commentary, but the record book states it's a draw. Now you should want to put that right as quick as possible, because it's not about money, is it? That's what you said. I don't want to go down that avenue. It's become boring now and I'm sick of hearing about it. I'm just sick of hearing about it, to be honest. It's done me head in. So Stig, you're number 2. You're number 2 for a reason, Stig. Even though you're my pal, you are number 2. So, alright. So, number 1. I Want to Be Left Alone, Tony Bellew. 35-minute interview with Coogan Cassius. Sky pundit commentating on night, photo bombing Eddie Hearn's interview on IFL as he's leaving arena, and then you've got, he's on that podcast with Macklin and Spencer Oliver. This is a man that wants to be left alone. His words, not mine. He leaves himself open all the time. But I'd welcome him back into boxing, and I'd follow it, because I want to see him fight again. I want to see him testing himself at heavyweight against a genuine heavyweight. I don't think he's a cruiserweight. I think he struggled. He went from heavyweight to cruiserweight, and that all rankled with Tony Bellew. Now, Eddie Hearn's emailed me and said he's never, ever, ever coming back. So I don't believe that. I think he comes back. I think Bellew comes back within the next 9 months. Because he's around it, isn't he? He's around it all the time, and his head will be tortured when he sees, if he sees an opening, he's a businessman, he'll think, well, I don't have to make weight, and I can say, I don't want to go out on a loss, I can say I'm technically better, and I can put it all into a blender and mix it all up with Sky Platform and Coogie Bear and Spencer Oliver's podcast, and he can put it out there, and that he's really in heavyweight because he was a heavyweight as an amateur, and he was never a light heavy. He never got stopped at cruiser, but he had to take weight off from the hay fight. He's going to go all that, put it all into a pot like that, and then it pops out at end, like putting sausage meat, and then it pops out into little sausage as well. With Tony, it'll pop out into Sky pay-per-view checks, and all you casuals out there will all buy it, and it will be his 5th pay-per-view, and he won't win whoever he fights if it's one of the top guys, but he'll get paid and he won't be bothered, because he'll say, I can now go to my retirement place and in my head know that I gave it my best shot, but I just wasn't good enough. Now anybody would say that for £4 or £5 million, wouldn't they? So rest assured, he will be coming back. He tried to stay away December, January, February. We're into March, 3 months gone, we're into March, 4th month, and he's back. Tony Bellew is back. Well, Tony Bellew, you are Porky's Corner Helmet of the Month, as voted by the boxing hardcore fans that follow Porky's Corner. Well done. Alright, Tony, well done. But as far as I'm concerned, if you do come back, it will be but, you know, you've got mouths to feed. But how many more times are we going to hear this? I've got mouths to feed. Well, surely you've got enough millions now to feed the mouths. Do you mean you want to feed the next generations and next generations and next generations? Or why would you want to risk your health? Maybe you might not come back, but personally, I think you will. Because I think that your ego's off at scale. But I would want to see you come back. I know it's bullshit if you come back and it makes a mockery of boxing, because out of Bellew, DeGale, Groves, Hay, Khan and Brook, when they retire soon, out of them 6, how many do you think will come back? Well, it remains to be seen, but Kel's not retired yet, so let's hope that they get him a good fight with Amir Khan. They'll probably want to get mileage out of that, 2 lots of fights. And Amir Khan's not retired yet, he's got Crawford to fight, and probably Kell Brook twice. So, alright, peace out. Keep on trucking, keep supporting boxing, it's a great sport. And I think I'm now going to go downstairs and have some chicken soup. Alright, before I do the next couple of videos. Peace out.